At the end of the day, they handle a lot of their own success. Like, they kind of provide those keys to themselves. It's my job to make whatever I'm asking them to do possible so they feel like they're winning. And
can an athlete fail?
An athlete can fail. My name is Gregory. I'm a graduate of UCF, Sport and Exercise Science. I've been with PURE Athletics and Adidas here for about a decade. April will be 9 years. I've also worked with USATF as a regional videographer, and I've been a personal friend of Noah Lyles. So the specific exercises that will be happening today involve everything incorporated in the warm-up, which is a bit of dynamic stretching, a little bit of myofascial manipulation, some technical drills that are associated with sprinting. And then briefly after that, they'll do a little bit of hurdle hops over there. We are doing some timed runs up on the field up there behind us. You can see them in the distance. Each athlete will be kind of filtered into a 100, 200 category or 400 category, tethered to the maximum amount that we would expect their events to take. And then we'll head into the gym. This is kind of considered the base training for the whole year. Okay, what does the body language look like? Are they kind of holding a lot of tension to maintain those positions? Are they doing it with ease? Are they going faster and farther than they probably expected at this time of year? Are they showing better coordination under duress? Little things, a lot of things you can extrapolate from like a workout like this. Now they're doing the technical drill portion of the training. A lot of people kind of overlook this process right here, but to be honest, this is quite literally the technical practice, the consistent technical practice that they get before every session. They start off with the high knee walking drill. We're looking for like a massive hip flexion. You'll see that, for people that sprint, maybe they look like they're done a little slow. For this time of year, we can make those technical considerations and slow these things down because we can't do that later in the season. What makes a karaoke good is a lot of knee height and a lot of hip extension through the glute right here. Very universal form of movement. You're going to see it in a lot of sports just because it encompasses a whole side of the body through the lat, all the way to the opposing hip, all the way through the quads and everything like that. And lateral stability is just as important as kind of vertical stability in this sport. So this drill right here is the fast leg drill. In my opinion, probably the most important one that we have out here because it literally mimics like the mechanics at full speed, but then also kind of isolates one side, which is very hard for people. And it's a good demonstration of flexibility, coordination, and power. So this is like mandated hip mobility that they all kind of ritualistically do together. We're just looking at like the hip flexion, so how high they can like bring their foot up. If there's any limitations in that or any compensating to make those actions happen, it's something to take note of, and you kind of follow up on it and see if it's something that the physiotherapist can address. Whether it's like an acute response to training, like for instance they were squatting yesterday, so there's a chance that they could come in here with hip flexors that are a little sore, maybe a little bit of limited range of motion. This can at least start to attenuate that or put us on notice, like I said. Just kind of watching this and you see someone up there that just can't do the same thing. Okay, well, we saw it down here first. This is where we're testing sprinting in its final form before we kind of take it to the workout. You can slow it down, reduce a little impact on themselves, but completely build up new acceleration patterns kind of from the ground up and everything like that. Joe's running in the grass here to reduce impact on the lower limbs right here. I prefer to start acceleration that way just because we're doing it in flats anyway, so it's not like you're getting as much of the feel of the track as you may in spikes or anything like that. And it's just a safe environment. Like you can do it over and over and over again as long as you've kind of got a flat field right here. Obviously, we've got the infield of a track that's taken care of, so we can guarantee it's flat. Let's do it. What they'll be doing here is kind of running multi-directional for, like I said, 3 sets of 30 seconds, 3 sets of 45 seconds, and 3 sets of 30 seconds for the shorter group. And then the others will be doing bouts of 30, 60, and 45 seconds. The idea is that those kind of represent the upper ranges of how much time under tension they'll be in competition. So like when I notice athletes run to a fixed location, like it's not open-ended, subconsciously they can tell like where they have to go, how much momentum they're gonna have to build to get there. So if like we're doing accelerations to 10, they're just gonna run to 10 meters. If you put it to 30 meters, they know subconsciously, okay, I'm gonna have to come out more aggressively, more horizontally oriented, and it's the quickest way to make your workouts longer. One thing I would say that kind of athletes are working through or against is overuse injury, which is like where you can't necessarily tie it to a specific workout. Ligaments, joints, all the bones and everything get to a point in a season where they just can't tolerate it. Now that can be accelerated or decelerated, which you can see in the gait. Like there's specific running styles which are better in the sense of better performance and more protective to the physiology. This is Jerica.
We've met Jerica before.
Physio extraordinaire.
This is my first day out for the fall training, so basically what I'm looking for is movement quality. I'm looking to see how coach is cueing because that helps me in the recovery space. So listening to him talk about stride length, stride frequency, I have to ask myself, how does injury affect those parameters, right? So just listening for cues, looking at the quality of movement helps me when I'm making my assessments and communicating with coach.
I'm the weight room coach here, so I'm going to try to, I guess my job here is to make sure everyone that trains here successfully gets through this at some level, and everyone's got their own way of getting through it. But yeah, here we are. So this is like the blueprint. Today what we're more working on is actually like, I guess more like a lactic or a pumpy response, so more like muscular endurance. So some of that's controlled with intent, but then some of that's controlled with like by the exercise and the rep count, right? So like you can only be so explosive on box jumps for so many reps, right? Basically the whole month of November, maybe even a little bit of December, we're going to build muscular endurance and like lactic tolerance. That's the idea, that's what we're working on. But the idea is we do things in blocks. So like, let's say we introduce you to something like one of those exercises. You wanna really let them have a lot of practice. And so they get, roughly 5 or 6 attempts at each of the exercises each cycle. So the first time you teach them, and then hopefully by the time they've done it, their 5th or 6th time, they've learned it. And then some of the exercises carry over later into the programming, like for the idea of like front squats. So we do front squats not because we care about them front squatting. We do front squats because we want the positional strength, and then we also know that that position eventually looks like a clean or something else or a start, whatever. So it's kind of like building big pieces and then eventually just get more fine-tuned to the point where we actually don't even exercise. We just sprint and run, right? On one level, it should look like track, but then on the other level, we're always trying to get closer to like what a human being is supposed to be. And so if you start to get really chronically tight hips because you're running too much, we have to do exercises to counteract the things that are going to happen. So either we're doing exercises from like a human perspective on like making sure we can stay healthy to do this for 10 years, 20 years. So having a good education base on like what is my body and what is it supposed to feel like, and the smarter everyone is at that table, the better likelihood that we will diagnose that issue correctly.